Namaste, you're on The Nation at 5, coming to you live from the newsroom here at CNN News 18. I'm Anand Narasimhan, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll get you lots of details on the murder that the entire country is talking about. It sent shockwaves. But before that, just as we were hitting the bulletin and going live, we've just got news, and I'm going to start with this, that there is a huge round of searches and raids that is happening by the Tamil Nadu State Police with suspicion of ISIS sympathizers. We've just got news that residences of a few people with the suspicion of links with the ISIS. There are raids that are going on. Police are in search since early morning at a few places in the Kodayangur and also Mannadi areas of. Apparently, we are given to understand nearly 15 lakh rupees. 15 lakh rupees in cash and 150 cell phones have been found. 150 cell phones have been found and other digital gadgets have also been found. So this is the footage that we're getting. We'll try and get the footage up here on our plasma screen. More details coming through that last week the National Investigation Agency Purnima, 4 people have been arrested, but the details shocking. 15 lakhs in cash, but 150 cell phones and other gadgets recovered.
Absolutely. Police officials said that in 2 places in Chennai, raids were underway since morning on suspicion that there are thieves of cash and also more than 100 odd cell phones. Apart from this, digital gadgets were also seized. So, and incriminating documents are also seized. Investigation is underway with more Tamil Nadu police tell us at this point in time.
Well, since what time were they conducting the
documents were seized a few days ago? Apart from Coimbatore, Chennai was also one of the districts where raids were underway. Incriminating documents were seized, and following that, today once again there were raids underway in 2 places in Chennai alone. And this was about people. This was also because of suspicion that some of the people were linked with the ISIS. In terms of the names of those who have been detained, but the raids in 2 places in Chennai, including Mannadi, was only because of suspicion that those people were allegedly linked to the ISIS. Remember, when the NIA began investigation, they realized that there are a list of names that they have received in watching these people, and some of them today have been arrested by the police, 4 of them to be precise.
Purnima, the visuals very clearly show that this is a specific house. So were the raids conducted in Kodangayur and in Mannadi only in 2 particular houses? Or did the cops have multiple locations, and did they eventually find these sympathizers and these gadgets and this equipment at this particular residence? And where is this? This is Kodangayur or Mannadi?
So there were 2 places, and in these 2 places, it was basically residences of those who were allegedly linked with the ISIS, and that's how the raids began in these 2 places, not multiple locations, but specifically the residences of a few people in Mannadi and in Kodangayur. These were the 2 places that were in fact raided in the morning, and these were the residences of the places who were reportedly linked to the ISIS. And after searches, when they found 150 cell phones and they found digital gadgets, they arrested 4 of them. But these were the 2 locations that were raided in the morning as per the police sources.
Okay, final question. Any more details on where these sympathizers have been taken? Are we expecting a briefing by the Tamil Nadu police?
Well, we could expect a press statement from the Tamil Nadu police soon, because the raids have just ended and 4 of them have been taken away, and there have been incriminating documents, cell phones, digital gadgets that have been seized. But an official statement is expected by the end of the day, not the ISIS.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs, Purnima. So big breaking news coming through at top of this edition of The Nation at 5 that 4 ISIS sympathizers have been nabbed by the Tamil Nadu police with raids being conducted. 150 cell phones, 15 lakh rupees in cash and other gadgets have been also found. The raids had taken place in 2 locations, Kodangayur and Mannadi, 2 suburbs or areas which are part of Chennai. That's where the raids have been conducted, and 4 people have been detained or arrested so far. That's the update that we have. We move on from this big news that's just developed in Tamil Nadu. We brought it to you top of this edition of The Nation at 5, and we shift focus to the most gruesome, grisly murder that's come to the fore as Aaftab strangles Shraddha and then butchers her into 35 pieces, keeps her body and parts in the house, lives there for nearly 6 months, and over a period of 18 days tries to dump the various body parts in the jungle area between the Chhatarpur and Mehrauli regions in Delhi. Absolutely gruesome, shocking details that are now coming to the fore as we set up this story. Absolutely gruesome murder that's come to the fore. The family is alleging that this was done with a devious intent, where the underlying Hindu missya coming to the FR. There are calls of love jihad, but on the face of it, this is an act of brutality, absolutely inhuman. And some more details that are now coming, ladies and gentlemen, point to the fact that this man was a psychopath or somewhere clearly did not think twice about murdering another human being and also living with the remains of that body, which he had sawed using a carpenter's sword. Now, we're 5 days custody that the cops have of Aaftab. They have actually taken him to the Mehrauli jungles where he claimed he had disposed of the body one part in the dead of the night or wee hours at around 2 a.m. He would go there. We are given to understand 10 human body parts have been recovered so far. They will all be sent to the forensic lab for analysis and also DNA matching, because it's on the cops to ensure and to provide evidence to the courts to show that Aaftab really did commit these murders, and this is how he killed Shrardha. Both of them had come from Mumbai, and within 3 days of coming to Delhi, this act was committed. Have a look at some of the ground reports.
This is the garbage dump and this area from where he used to enter this jungle area, and across the road is the area where Aaftab used to stay with Sharddha. Every night he used to cross the road, come to this jungle area and then dispose of the body parts that he had chopped, the body that he had chopped into 35 pieces, dispose of the body parts in this jungle. You can see this is a dense area, and therefore it's a challenge for the police and the forensic teams to find out where, in what all areas would the body parts be lying. So they will be bringing Aaftab here and will be recreating the entire crime scene. Already the house where they stayed and the refrigerator that has been recovered, they have all been forensically examined. Police's next challenge is to recover the body parts from these areas, because you can see this jungle area has a broken wall, and all wild animals and dogs, and they all come in the area, and it is also an apprehension of the police that they might have eaten up the body parts. Some part that have been recovered, police have told CNN News 18 that they are in a very bad shape. They are mostly beyond identification, and mostly bones have been recovered because it's been more than 6 months. But they all be sent for DNA profiling. Shraddha's father's sample have already been taken. Now these bones, they have been sent to forensic labs and they'll be examined for a DNA profiling so that it can be confirmed that these body parts are of Sharddha.
I'm at a society in Mumbai's Vasai area. It is the Unique Park Society, which is also home to the Poonawallas. We know that there is a lot of curiosity around Aaftab, who is the accused in the dreaded murder of Sharddha. And that's why we are here to talk to people in this particular society and understand the nature and type of family the Poonawallas were. They used to reside on the 3rd floor, and what we have been told at this point is that it's been 15 years since they've vacated this place. They have moved to another residence, and there is no contact with the family at this point, but there have been several members in the society who have been constantly in touch with them over the years, considering they've spent a reasonable time in this particular society, to say. Joining me is Mr. Bhagwan. He's also the chairman of the society. Sir, सबसे पहले बताइए, ये पूनावाला फैमिली इसी घर में, इसी सोसाइटी में रहती थी? कितने साल से रह रहे थे?
करीब करीब 15 से 20 साल से रहते थे। बच्चे जो हैं छोटे थे तब से पढ़ाई लिखाई उनकी यहीं हुई है, और बच्चों से ज्यादा मुस्लिम हमारा नहीं रहता था, लेकिन बच्चे अच्छे थे उनके, और वो फैमिली भी अच्छी थी। ऐसा कुछ लगता ही नहीं था कि हाँ ये बच्चे यहाँ तक पहुँच जाएंगे। 15 दिन हो गए यहाँ से शिफ्टिंग होकर के, जो कि हमको उसके बारे में अभी तक पता नहीं है कि वो लोग कहाँ शिफ्ट किए हैं, लेकिन ये मैं कल आया हूँ तो मुझे पता चला है कि घर में कि वो लोग 15 दिन पहले शिफ्ट हुए हैं।
So let's dive inside the mind of this murderer, this brute who did not think twice and had no problems, not just about killing somebody, taking somebody's life, someone who he claimed to love, and someone who had hopes that Aaftab would one day marry her. That's what the reports are suggesting. But more importantly, he chopped her into pieces, kept her in a fridge, and slept in the same room, lived as if no big deal had happened. This murder was committed in May 2022. It's come to the fore in November 2022, ladies and gentlemen. So what are the revelations? First up, he allegedly confessed that strangling Sharddha was very easy. Then, revelation 2, he physically assaulted Sharddha in the days leading up to death. Revelation 3, emotionally blackmailed Sharddha to not end the relationship. Revelation 4, he dated other women with Shraddha's body parts still in the fridge. He commits the murder, keeps her body parts, moves on, dates other women, brings them to the home, into the same room. Revelation 5, shifted Shraddha's body to the bathroom to chop her limbs. Web searched how to clean blood and human remains. That's Revelation 6. Revelation 7, dumped body parts in thickly forested area to avoid detection. Revelation 8, dumped the parts in one location and bag and used to carry them elsewhere. Revelation 9, used incense sticks and deodorants to keep foul smell away at home. Revelation 10, the body cut into small pieces to not alert rag pickers around the dump site. To add to that, he kept her head, the severed head, separately and used to look at it on a daily basis. More details coming out to say this man was really off his rockers and he had no remorse for what he did. Nikhil Lakhwani joining us live from the Mehrauli police station. Anshul live from the Mehrauli residence where both the Sharddha and Aaftab lived. Anvit joining us live from Chhatarpur crime scene. And Mihir joining us live from Vasai in Mumbai, where he's tried to track down the residents of the Poonawallas, although they have not been found there. The family, the extended family of Aaftab has not been found there. Let's first start with Anvit joining us live from the Chhatarpur crime scene. That is the area where the body parts were dumped. Is the search still on? How long was Aaftab brought to that area? And what have been the recoveries so far, Anvit?
Yes, Anand, Aaftab was brought here around 9:30 a.m. in the morning, and for 2 long hours, 2 to 3 hours, searches went on, because so far police have told us that they have only recovered 10 to 12 odd pieces of bones from the area. Now, first task ahead of the FSL lab is to identify that these pieces are human remains, and then to identify that whether or not these remains are of Shraddha's. For that, the medical experts have already taken Shraddha's father's sample, and these bones that have been recovered, we are learning it directly from the sources in the FSL Delhi, that they have told us that it is a very difficult process to extract DNA from a bone, that has dried up, because it's been 6 months that the body had been disposed of in this area. So DNA will be extracted, and after that it will be matched for DNA profiling with the father. So search for the body is still on. As you also mentioned, head is he has not taken police yet to the head where he had disposed of the head of this woman. Only below torso parts and some dismembered parts have been recovered so far, which also police are saying were in a condition very bad beyond recognition. I would like to show, this is the jungle area where we had been since morning, and we were also here when Aaftab had been brought here in a heavy police cordon. Now this is the jungle area where the body was disposed, and right across the road, as you can see, there is this main road of Chhatarpur that connects Mehrauli to Chhatarpur. This is the main road, and right across this road is a residential area where Aaftab used to live. His house is hardly 800 meters from here, and every night he used to cross this road, come to this jungle area, which is a PWD land actually, which has grown into a jungle, and dispose of the chopped off 35 body parts every night here. And as far as investigation is concerned, Anand, police are now also looking at, because you mentioned that he used to use Bumble, and which is exactly right. He used to be active on this dating app, and at the time when the dismembered parts of Sharddha were there in the refrigerator, very much to the next room, he had been making love with many other women who he met on this dating app. And important to mention that this app was also one of the bone of contention between the couple, because Srivastava has at many times objected to this man using this app and dating other women while he was already in a relationship with her, because he had promised to get married to her, and that was the basis why she had told her family that she had eloped with him, and initially she wanted to be in a live-in only because he had promised to get married to her. When she started resisting to him using Bumble and dating other women, then the matter escalated, and this is what has happened, and this woman has gone through such brutality that we are reporting now.
Right, Anvit, thank you for your inputs. Before I go across to our reporters at some of the other locations, just let's quickly listen into some of the reactions that have come in from Shraddha's friends, where some of them said that she had actually reached out to them for help.
क्यों आफ्ताब तक लिमिटेड हो चुका था? क्या आफ्ताब उसको मतलब उसके कंट्रोल करते थे एक तरीके से, क्या था?
एक तो बात जायज सी है कि अक्सर जब लोग इन प्रेम संबंधों में आते हैं तो वो दो जन ही अपने आप के आसपास दुनिया बना लेते हैं, लेकिन अब जो कि ये क्राइम सीन सुनने में आता है तो फिर ये शक होता है कि क्या ये कोई अल्टीरियर मोटिव था आफ्ताब का कि वो इन्फ्लुएंस करे श्रद्धा को इस तरीके से कि श्रद्धा का जो पूरा दुनिया है वो उसी के आसपास हो जाए। और फिर ये जो क्राइम है, आज तो ये मन में सवाल होता है कि कैसे कोई इतनी बड़ी दरिंदगी कर सकता है। 35 टुकड़े तो मेरे ख्याल से कोई आम इंसान सोच भी नहीं सकता है, और उसके साथ में रहना और फिर एक एक करके डिकम्पोज करना। तो श्रद्धा डरती थी कहीं ना कहीं। श्रद्धा ने हमें यह भी बताया था कि वो इस रिलेशनशिप में नहीं रहना चाहती, वो बाहर आना चाहती है, तो कुछ मजबूरी भी था जिसकी वजह से श्रद्धा रह रही थी। वो मजबूरी क्या थी, अब ये भी एक सवाल है जो मेरे ख्याल से जिसका जवाब श्रद्धा ले गई अपने साथ।
डेटिंग ऐप से रजत ने कुछ और लड़कियों को अप्रोच किया। दूसरी लड़कियां श्रद्धा के घर आती थी जहां पे लिविंग लोग रहते थे, तो उसको लेके मनमुटाव और झगड़े होते रहते थे। इसकी कोई जानकारी आपके पास?
दोनों मैच्योर्ड हैं और दोनों एक साथ रहना चाहते हैं, तो हम तक इतनी जानकारी थी और हमको ऐसा लगता था कि इतनी जानकारी पर्याप्त है हमें जानने के लिए। हम बहुत ज्यादा पर्सनल जानने की हमने कोशिश नहीं की थी, ना उन्होंने बताने की कोशिश की थी।
It became a point of concern for me कि I should actually start reaching out to people and ask whether okay, so मुझे दूसरों को, मेरे फ्रेंड सर्कल में कॉमन फ्रेंड्स है उनको मैंने पूछना चालू किया, एंड देन लेटर ऑन मैंने फिर किसी से भी कोई मुझे अपडेट नहीं मिला, तो फाइनली मैंने उनके ब्रदर को बता दिया कि ऐसा है। लास्ट मेरा उनसे जुलाई में बात हुआ था, उसके बाद से आज तक मेरा उनके साथ कोई कांटेक्ट नहीं हो पा रहा है। सो इट्स बेटर दैट वी रीच आउट टू कॉप्स एंड सीक फॉर देयर हेल्प, कि हम पुलिस के पास जाने वाले हैं। बट उस टाइम पे श्रद्धा के कमिटमेंट्स को या फिर उसके जो बातें थी उसको रिस्पेक्ट करते हुए हमने बोल दिया कि इसको हम पुलिस में नहीं कर रहे, बिकॉज उसने मना किया।
Lakshman Nadir is the man who had covered his face, one of Shraddha's friends. He is somebody who has actually come out and said that she reached out to him that day. The day she, from there, she stopped connecting. That come and save me, otherwise this man will kill me. So she had worries about, and she felt a threat to her life around Aaftab, is something which both the parents and also her friends have said. Mihir, you are in Vasai. Whereabouts are you?
I'm just outside Shraddha's residence. This is where the Walkers live. but it's been couple of weeks or months since this flat has been vacated. Similar is the case of the Poonawalas where I went in the morning. They have left that particular residence, that society where they were living for all these years, and since 15 days they are untraceable. Now what we understand is that people are really tight-lipped here. They are very guarded. Even the shopkeepers know little about the Walkers or want to reveal anything. But when I went to Aaftab's society, there were a couple of them who spoke to me and said that the Poonawalla family was just like any other family. The children were they were not any sort of nuisance creators. They were very normal kids growing up in a family. It was a big family with Aaftab having a few siblings and family members. So never did it come across, or never was there an incident where he was aggressive or got into an argument or a violent fight or something. So clearly it has come as a shocker for those residing in that society also, and that's what is coming out at this particular incident, where this boy who was in a relationship with a girl, they decided to move to a different city, start a life, and what happens next is a brutal murder. And not only that, he also tried to hide and what he had done as far as disposing the body of somebody who he was.
It is interesting that both the families have vacated their residence where they've been living for years just about 2 to 3 weeks back. What happened and what triggered their moving out of that area is also significant. Were they worried that this matter will come to light? Did they realize what has happened and they did not want to subject the rest of the family members to scrutiny, and that's why have they moved away? Are they in touch with the police? These are questions that remain to be answered. Let's ask Nikhil Lakhwani. Is there at the Mehrauli police station? Are the Mehrauli police in touch with Shraddha's family? Are they connecting with them? And what is the status as far as this murderer Aaftab is concerned? Where is he now?
Well, Anand, as per the details, he was taken this morning around 9 to 9:30 a.m. at the spot where Anvit just mentioned, my very senior colleague. But now he has been brought back to the particular cell. He is currently placed inside the Mehrauli police station, and many of the questioning is being done by the Delhi police officials because there are many of the things which are yet to be recovered and are very important as far as this case is concerned, because it has to be made even stronger in the court of law, in the eyes of law, because the incident happened 6 months back. So the main thing which needs to be recovered is the weapon with which the murder took place, for which he break the deceased person into 35 pieces, cut her into 35 pieces. Another is the actual motive as to why the entire murder was orchestrated in the very first place. There are many of the theories, Anand, which are now coming into place, but the accused need to tell actually what was the main reason. Was there any suspicion between the two? Was there the angle involved of the cheating, infidelity, or was there any pressure from either of the sides? So the exact motive behind the killing of Sharddha in this gruesome murder, this is something which needs to be known along with the weapon. But also what we are awaiting so far, we have been told by the senior police officials, and also what has been mentioned by Anvit Srivastava as well, that the FSL report is yet to be it is awaited. It will tell as to the bones which have been collected so far. 10 to 12 bones which have been recovered so far by the Delhi police officials are those related to Sharddha or not. If related to the Sharddha, then it will further be examined by the FSL lab and the forensic lab as to with her father's. So this is something which needs to be ascertained by the Delhi police officials. But also, Anand, we would like to show you the visuals from outside the Mehrauli police station with the incident, with the intensity of the same. You can see the people are also concerned. They have been coming here since morning. They want to see a glimpse of the entire incident. They want to get more details of this case, because with each passing hour, Anand, shocking details are coming out in the public domain, and also they want to see a glimpse of the main accused. But currently he is placed inside and all the questioning is being done by the senior police officials. Back to you, Anand.
Right, they have five days of police remand. Thank you for your inputs, Nikhil. Now, interestingly, a love jihad angle has also come to light, and this was being brought forth by Shraddha's father, who's opened up after the murder of his daughter. He has said that he was never in touch with the main accused, that's Aaftab. He was never in touch with Aaftab. He also said that there could be a love jihad angle given that the family was not in favor of this inter-religious relationship. That allegation is now being echoed by both the BJP and the VHP. The VHP, in fact, is planning to write to the Commissioner of Police to probe this angle also as an active part of the investigation, the love jihad angle. Before we go across to Anshul, let's listen into the reactions that have come in so far.
जब दिल्ली के अंदर कोई गैर मुस्लिम हिंदू हो या कोई और अगर किसी से प्रेम विवाह करता हो तो उस लड़के को टुकड़े टुकड़े में परिवर्तित कर दिया जाता है। हिंदू लड़कियों को जो मुंबई में घटना हुई है उस मुस्लिम लड़कों ने लिविंग रिलेशन नहीं बल्कि वैवाहिक रिलेशन के रूप में, और जब उसके बाद उसे टुकड़े टुकड़े करके फेंक दिया, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। इस देश के अंदर में ये एक लव जिहाद एक तरह से मिशन चल गया है मुस्लिम का, लव जिहाद, और फिर उसे इस ढंग से या तो छोड़ देना या मौत के घाट उतार देना।
ये केवल इसे मर्डर केस करके इस मामले को देख करके नहीं चलेगा, क्योंकि जिस प्रकार के पुरजोर तरीके से सबूत सामने आ रहे हैं, वे सबूत अपने आप में सुनिश्चित करते हैं कि इसमें दिल्ली पुलिस के द्वारा लव जिहाद का क्या एंगल है। इसकी भी जांच दिल्ली पुलिस के द्वारा हो, यह आवश्यक है। इस षड्यंत्र के पीछे क्या कारण है? क्या हमारे दुश्मन मुल्क के लोग इस प्रकार की गैंग हमारे देश में चला रहे हैं? अगर चला रहे हैं तो उसका मकसद क्या है? यदि इसे पूर्ण रूप से रोकना होगा, इसे विराम देना होगा, तो इस मामले में पुलिस को लव जिहाद के एंगल में इसकी तफ्तीश करनी होगी।
Anshul now joining us from the residence where this crime was committed. Anshul, you've been there and you showed us the visuals even from yesterday. Today we've got more pictures from inside the house we've been able to access here. This angle of love jihad, is this being probed? Are the neighbors offering any more information? Has this house owner, the landlord or the has he been tracked?
So yes, the landlord has actually called the tenants who are staying here and said them to not share any of the details with any of the media person. In fact, we were not being allowed inside the flat today, this morning as well, because the tenants who were staying over here have been actually asked by the house owner to not share anything with the media, and that is why everyone is very scared to speak to media anyway. However, I spoke to a few of our neighbors today and they said that the kind of behavior that he used to possess, for example, the person, if you see, there is a room right inside the basement, and there is a person, a very new tenant who has shifted over here just like a month and a half ago. I spoke to him this morning and he said that by mistake he once actually rang the bell of the residence, and Aaftab came out and actually hurled abuses at him, and in fact went to the extent of saying that do not ever ring the bell of my house. This happened approximately a month ago itself. Also, what I would like to tell our viewers that what happened on the very next day when Sharddha was strangled to death. So Aaftab, after strangling Sharddha to death, he steps out from his house and walks approximately 500 meters to 700 meters where there is a big market right across the street, and he goes in that market, he buys a fridge through his credit card. A fridge amounting to rupees 23,500. We have accessed the entire thing. Also, after buying the fridge, he goes ahead, buys a knife, buys garbage bags. While he was buying the knife, he actually got cut in his hand, and to get that hand fixed, he went to a clinic which was right next to that. So the next 15 to 20 minutes of what he did after killing Sharddha has also now been exposed. Now he had said this entire thing in the police statement, but yes, the police took him to all these spots and they have corroborated each and every evidence, because the police is making sure that everything that he has to say is taken with a pinch of salt, because he is a criminal and seems to be a very professional criminal, and hence whatever he is saying is being taken with a pinch of salt, and everything is corroborated so that an airtight case could be built against him.
Right. Thank you for your inputs, Anshul, Anvit, Nikhil, and also Mihir, thank you for your inputs. You've been tracking the case very closely and covering all angles, keeping our viewers up to speed on this most gruesome and grisly murder. Aarti Agarwal now joins us. There are the voices which are calling for a pattern. They're stating a pattern. This is now becoming an increasing trend coming to the fore. There are others who are saying this is nothing but a crime of passion and a psychopath at work. Don't try and bring in the love jihad or the religious angle or the Hindu messiah angle. Where do you stand on what's happened?
So, Anand, to me, there's no doubt that there is a religious angle into this because, we've seen so many cases like this all across India. This is not a one-off case. This is not some aberration outside of what they normally do. We have seen these kind of cases and these kind of news items keep coming every few months. And this is across India. So, I feel like we have failed as a secular, civilized society if this kind of a crime can go on repeating itself so many times and still we are told that there is no religious angle, that this is one person's psychopathy, there is one person's abnormality, and we cannot even call for laws, for anti-conversion laws, for laws against love jihad in all the states. I mean, except for UP and maybe one more state, we don't even have a law against love jihad in the whole of India. And the moment we talk about love jihad, the moment we talk about hatred as an angle in these interfaith relationships, the religious hatred, we are gaslit and we are told that, you are maligning one community and this is Islamophobia. Now, I mean, what am I supposed to do when I have hundreds and hundreds of such cases in front of me where women have been murdered in the most gruesome ways? It's not just a murder. I mean, how sick would somebody have to be in their minds to continue to date other women while the dead body is still in the fridge?
But Aarti, will every case become a case of which has got a religious angle at the core of it? Should every case be looked at it? Let's not forget that Aaftab and Sharddha lived in the same area. The families knew each other. None of the locals who have known Aaftab for many years have reported or said that he showed signs of any deviant behavior. And Sharddha was a major. She of her own accord told her parents that I am going with this guy and we are leaving. And she was 25, 26 years old, so perfectly in a place to make a decision. And she comes here. She did reach out and say that he was abusive. He did hit her and she has complained and she said, please, I fear for my life. But these are aspects which have to be considered. This man may have suddenly turned devious and diabolic after committing that act. But did he commit that act because he hated Sharddha for being a Hindu, or it was a crime of passion which happened because he wanted to get rid of her eventually? So whatever be the other reason beyond religion.
So these are very pertinent questions. Now my point here is that this is a very planned crime. This is not a crime you commit in an act of passion or in a hatred. This is cold-blooded murder. This is a planned cold-blooded murder. And you can say that, oh, this is a one-off case, but how much do we even know about Aaftab? We have a whole history of serial killers who look perfectly normal, who were friends with people who had friends, who had normal, who go to work normally. And at what point can we say that this person is normal and that this person is not normal? So, I am actually quite sure that this may not even be the first murder of Aaftab. We have only discovered this after 6 months of committing this crime. How do we know he has not done something like this before, when we can clearly see that right after committing the murder, he is ordering food from Zomato and he is dating other women from Bumble? How do we know this is not something that is very ingrained in him? And we know that this kind of ingrained ideas come from indoctrination. Nobody suddenly turns psychopathic in one day. That's what I'm trying to say. He has shown no remorse. He has shown no
one
guilt.
One aspect is Aarti, that there is evidence and to point that there were fights between him and Sharddha because he was on a dating website or a software which he was using repeatedly. And he continued to use that even after he had murdered Sharddha. Would you perhaps want to look at the kind of profiles, or was there a profiling that he was involved in? Was there a type for him? And with that then give the investigators an indication of what kind of this type was. This was preference based on a particular religious leaning or a particular look and feel style of the woman, because generally psychopaths, sociopaths seem to have a pattern. of the prey.
So at least based on what I have seen on information of the women he was dating, they are all Hindu. Now I don't know, I don't have exact details of these women, but that fact is definitely underlining in these profiles of all the women he has picked. And I understand that you have to tread carefully before calling it a religious hate crime. Now my conclusion comes from seeing several crimes like these, which all follow this kind of a pattern. And at some point, we have to act intelligently as a society, which is why I said, coming back to the point of Shraddha being an adult and taking her own decisions, nobody is questioning that. But the point remains that when you don't know anything about your own religion or another religion, it is the failure of a society at large. We have failed to educate our children. We have failed to tell them how to distinguish between right and wrong, between what is hatred and what is love in the first place. I mean, how even the word love jihad is a misnomer according to me, because where the hell is the love? I mean, if you love somebody, you are not going to chop them up into 35 pieces. So my point remains that first of all, we need to shut down all madrasas where any kind of indoctrination is happening.
Right.
Second of all, we need to educate the kids better so they have better discrimination powers on their own, because girls at their age, in fact all young people at that age, they are rebellious. They are trying to do the exact opposite to what their parents tend to tell them to do. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to take their own decisions. Now,
but here in this case with Shraddha, you do make some compelling arguments.